Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. It's Monday. Happy Monday, February 13th, day before Valentine's Day. Wishing you and yours a great one tomorrow. But going to get started with today's live stream. Going to do a quick market update, and then we'll jump into any ticker requests, any questions that anybody has. Throw them my way. It can be an Ask Me Anything as well. But just sit tight. We'll get started here. We'll give it another few minutes for people to join us. But if you could smash the like, help support me in the channel before we get started, I would appreciate it. And we'll get started here in about 30 seconds. I see we have quite a few people joining us. Welcome, welcome. Going to get started here in about 20 seconds or so. Just sit tight, and we'll give it another couple seconds for people to jump on. But I see we have some people commenting. Thanks for joining the live stream, and we'll get to the ticker requests here in just a moment. All right, going to get started with today's video and live stream. Once again, welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rod with Pow Group. If you could smash the like before we get started, I would appreciate it. And we'll do a quick market update, and then we'll jump into any ticker requests, any questions, ask me anything. Feel free to just type into the live chat, and we'll get to that here after a quick market update. I did get a new stand-up desk, so pretty excited about this. My neck and shoulders, if you're like me and you're having neck and shoulder pain, I highly encourage you to get one of these stand-up desks that are, a tabletop type of scenario, and you just lift up on it, and there's a little hydraulic, and then you can either stand or sit. But I've been standing for most of the day now, pretty much getting rid of sitting altogether, and I've noticed a complete shift in my neck pain and shoulder pain. That's just been something I've been working in IT my whole life as well. So I can't believe I haven't already done this. I didn't invest into this before, but just night and day difference. So if you're struggling with neck pain or shoulder pain like me, like most people, whether you're looking down at your phone or you're on the computer all the time, if you're trading or investing, or if you're looking at the market, it's very easy to lean forward and look into a chart and things like that and just get caught up on not really focusing on your posture and keeping things upright. But I've done posturize. I've been working on my posture. I've been working on a ton of things, going to massage therapy, acupuncture, physio. Nothing seems to be working except just getting up and moving around, right? So, or standing up, right? So highly encourage you to get one of those if you're struggling with that sort of thing, sort of neck pain or shoulder pain. But going to jump into today's content. Like I said, we're going to do a quick market update, then we'll jump into any ticker requests, and just ask me anything. For anybody that's joining the live stream, if you just joined us, thanks again for joining us, and we'll get started. So taking a look here at the crypto space at the moment, we are in 15-minute uptrends pretty much across the board. And we're watching for a potential weekly bull flag on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin finally started weekly consolidation. This is week number 2 of weekly consolidation. Again, weekly consolidation just means we're losing the low of the previous candle. So if we're on the daily time frame and we start daily consolidation, it just means we're losing the low of the daily candle prior to that one. So because we're on the weekly time frame, we're starting weekly consolidation, having lost the low of the last 2 weeks. But that was the first time since all the way down at 16,273. So we went 7 weeks without any weekly consolidation, and then finally on the 7th week we got our weekly consolidation. But at the moment we're still holding the EMAs. This is very healthy. This is just a nice correction and a healthy correction in my opinion. And right now we're still a potential weekly bull flag. So anything over that 0.32 fib there at 21,193 is a potential bull flag. So if we do lose that support, then that's going to negate the odds of the bull flag and decrease those odds significantly. If we do lose that, then we're likely heading down to EMA 12, sitting there at around 20,574, and that lines up with the 0.5 retracement as well there at 20,250. But we do have a daily bear flag on watch as well, so that'll be something to keep an eye out for. We did confirm it. We had the high, low, lower high, and lower low, and if I just draw out the daily bear flag for you, you can see here anything under 22,200 was a daily bear flag, and we formed a lower high, very weak bounce, and then we confirmed it with a loss of support there at 21,467, but we're not seeing much follow through. Now we need to confirm a daily uptrend to indicate that the weekly high or low is set, so we need a high, we need a higher low and a higher high, and once we have that, we'll be confident that the weekly high or low is set. But right now, that daily bear flag is targeting about 20,300, but we're not seeing much follow through. So if we do lose the low there at 21,366, again, that's going to increase the odds that we we don't see that weekly bull flag play out. So right now it's just bulls versus bears. We have a daily bear flag confirming, but no real follow through. But the weekly bull flag is still very much intact. So if we take a look at the weekly time frame once again, you take the measured move, you just go from, draw a trend line, you go from low to high, move it out to the 0.32 fib, and that'll give you your targeted measured move. So if we go low, high, high, or low, again, holding that 0.32 fib, now in order to confirm, we need to hold that 21,193 support and then break resistance there at 24,262. If we break 24,262, that confirms the weekly bull flag, and the measured move and the target is 33,000 on Bitcoin. So we could see more upside continuation. A bull flag just means bullish continuation pattern, and that would be the level that we'd be looking at. And more than likely not going to start monthly consolidation this month. It's likely going to be next month. We have tons of room though once we do. So if we can, if we can hold supports and not pull back too much this month with 15 days left, then that'll be good, because we'll allow ample room for a higher low to form on the monthly. And then if we can get back into a monthly uptrend, then it'll be all systems go to the upside. I do think that we're going to have a favorable rate decision in March. That's the next FOMC rate decision, and we could see, like I said, that potentially come in. They could pause it all together, and that would be extremely bullish for our broader market and crypto as well. But we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on Bitcoin, again, adding more confluence to the fact that we could see that daily bear flag follow through. But we could even see a weekly bull flag and weekly bull flag and EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. So we're backtesting those EMAs and we're holding them right now. And like I said, anything over that 0.32 fib is a potential a weekly bull flag. And like I said, it's right now, it's about a 50-50 chance, right? We have a daily bear flag and we have a weekly bull flag. We have daily EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, and we weekly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. So again, when we take a look at charts, we're not trying to predict the future. We're not, no one has a crystal ball. We're not saying this is, the end all be all. It's just looking at it and saying the most likely scenario is, we just don't know right now, right? Because there's a bull flag, there's a bear flag, and right now it's just bulls versus bears. But if we do lose 21,000, then that's going to negate the odds of a weekly bull flag, and then we're likely going to be targeting that 20,000 area, right? So we just take it as it comes, day by day. But in terms of bulls and bears on the day-to-day, we Hex, GMX, and Sologenic. We also have NDA, DMGI, and Cell leading the decline today. And I usually mix in there some blockchain names as well, some blockchain stocks, not just crypto. Just because it is part of that market, right? So taking a look at SPY. So SPY is an hourly bull flag at the moment. And if we take a look at the measured move of the bull flag, you go from low to the high on the hourly time frame. We are targeting, it was 417. Yep, 417. So we're looking for that to confirm, and we close at the high of the day today. So in order to get that confirmation, we need to break 412.96 tomorrow, first thing. And then if we do, we're likely targeting 417. But SPY is a weekly inside bar, and it broke bullish. So we're seeing that breakthrough now. And then on the monthly time frame, we're breaking to a monthly higher high, but we still haven't changed the monthly trend, just like Bitcoin. But we have a lot of room for that to form. So if we start a monthly consolidation, again, what does consolidation mean? We're just losing the low of the previous candle. So 377.83 is the low of the previous candle. If we lose that this month, we start monthly consolidation, and then we can drop another a little over 8% and still be looking for a higher low. And keep in mind that we could see a inverse head and shoulders here, which I already drew out, with the left shoulder head. And if we do start monthly consolidation, that would be our right shoulder. And then the measured move of that would bring us to new all-time highs if confirmed. So if you go from low to the high to the neckline there, move that out to the neckline, it says we'd be targeting about 480, which would put us at a new all-time high. But again, we just continue to watch. We haven't even started monthly consolidation yet, therefore we haven't even gotten our right side of our inverse head and shoulders, and this is just a bearish reversal pattern. And on the monthly time frame, usually means a lot of upside because of that longer term time frame. So the DXY is a weekly inside bar as well, but at the moment, it's still in a weekly downtrend. So anything under 105.63 is a weekly lower high and a weekly downtrend, but we could potentially form a higher low and a higher high. But if we continue to just head towards weekly oversold, which I think we're likely going to do, that would probably put us around 97, which is our next support on the dollar. And then that would probably put us around weekly oversold. And then that would likely mean that while it's heading to oversold, SPY, the broader market stocks and crypto would likely see some short-term upside. But if we do hit weekly oversold, I do think that would be a point where we see a relief rally in the dollar, and then we see some weakness in the broader market and crypto. We are bouncing off EMA 26 here on the monthly. We're a ways away before we see a monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, and we have no resistance right now for about 11%. So again, wouldn't be surprised if we pulled back to around 98, 97, and then we started the monthly bounce, and at that point it'd just be a monthly lower high that we'd be looking to form, and then we could potentially even confirm a monthly downtrend on the dollar. And if that were to occur with a lower high and a lower low, that would be all systems go for the broader market. So all eyes on the dollar as well. Those are probably the two most important charts right now. Looking at SPY, whether or not we can see that weekly bull flag, and DXY, seeing whether or not we can break out of this weekly downtrend. But I'm short-term bearish on the broader market, and then medium-term bullish, and then long-term bearish. Gold and silver starting weekly consolidation again this week. Not much though, just barely, losing the low last week, but weekly consolidation starting nonetheless for the second week in a row. Take a look at some individual tickers on the day today. So Tesla, daily consolidation underway, but still in a very strong daily uptrend, holding EMA 12 there on the daily time frame as well. Another massive swing opportunity. We had a daily inverse head and shoulders with the right shoulder head, left shoulder head, right shoulder. And then we confirmed the daily uptrend with the low, high, higher low, and higher high. We got that confirmation of the inverse head and shoulders, and we had no resistance on the monthly. So once we started that monthly bounce, we had a monthly inside bar. We started the monthly bounce once we broke resistance there at 180.68. And I made a video not too long ago saying that Tesla was targeting, it was around 160 when I made the video. And I said we were targeting $85, which was the head and shoulders on the monthly target of $85. And then we also had the 786 retracement there at 98.99. And we had the EMA 12 and 26 bear cross that was occurring. And if we go to the daily time frame here on stock charts, you can see that we had a death cross as well with the 50 above the 200 coming down, crossing, death cross, right? So when the actual cross occurred, price was at around $200. So it took a while before we really saw the downside, but that was, even if you exited there at 200 or went short at 200, we went all the way down to 100, right? So again, when we have death crosses and golden crosses, things like that, it doesn't have to see downside right away. Quite often, it's usually a few weeks or a few months before we really see the pain, because we need market makers to sell, right? And as Warren Buffett says, it takes them about 6 months to get in and out of a position. So that's why I think it takes 3 to 6 months for these macro level indicators to really see follow through, is because the people like Warren Buffett's of the world, the whales, it takes them 4 to 6 months to get in and out of positions. Therefore, the real move doesn't come for an extended period of time, right? So that's always something to keep in move. Think like a market maker, don't think like a retail investor, because retail usually loses 99% of the time. So Tesla, what a monster swing there off 100 psychological. And like I said, off that low, we were up over 100%. I think it was 112%, but 110%, yep. So monster swing opportunity there off 100 support. We also had hidden bearish RSI divergence with higher lows and higher highs on the price action, and lower highs and lower lows on the RSI, and then we finally broke down. So couldn't have been any more of an obvious swing trade opportunity there with a stop below 100. We get as low as 101.81. You could have risked $1.80 and set your stop below 100. So you risk about $1 to make $110. So that's what you call risk to reward and technical analysis to your advantage, right? Doesn't always play out, but that was a textbook opportunity playing off 100 psychological support. In terms of movers and shakers on the day today, we had IMV, VEGA, and Bed Bath & Beyond, JSDA and AB&B, and SPCE leading the bullish today. So Airbnb has earnings, I believe. Just checking in on the Powell Group community. Airbnb is tomorrow after market close. So we'll be watching that tomorrow. Definitely a stock I'm looking to pick up in a bear market as well. Went to Edmonton Host Community Meetup meeting last Wednesday, and it was fantastic. I actually learned a lot. Also just posted a video on my YouTube channel. Just give me 1 sec, folks. I got someone checking into my Airbnb. Speak the devil. All right, sorry about that, folks. Just had to answer the buzzer. So I had to buzz my my guest in for tonight's check-in. So like I said, I did a video, quite a few videos actually recently. I did my real estate portfolio game plan, and I also went over basically how I made money off real estate about 7-8 years ago when I first got into the market, right? And that was in Prince Edward Island. So I highly encourage you to check that out. Yeah, and I go over some of the Airbnb stuff in there as well. So if you're trying to figure out whether or not you want to get into Airbnb or short-term rentals, I highly encourage you to check that out as well. So we'll be watching Airbnb earnings tomorrow. Taking a look at the MJ space. So Canadian MJ, we had WIB, Hexo, and PCLO leading the decline today on the bull list. We had IMCC, Labs, and Love. Love completed its 1 for 10 reverse split today. So price closed at 98 cents. High of the month was 110. Sorry, high of today was 110, I believe. Yeah. So like I said, 1 for 10 reverse split. I'm actually rocking the tribal varsity jacket at the moment. The POW colors on. But yeah, we'll take a look quickly at some of our individual names here. So CGC losing Friday's low, continuing daily consolidation. This could be a monster swing opportunity as well. We do have a gap there at 272, and essentially from off the lows there, we had no resistance for about 46%. So nice play there off of the support there. At 209, the 52-week low, we hit 220. So another opportunity for a great swing trade, playing off $2 psychological. You could have even started to scale in and set your stop below $2. And like I said, it could risk, essentially if you're entering there at 220, even if you set your stop below $2, you'd be risking, 9-10% to make upwards of 20 to 40% plus, right? So those are some great risk to reward opportunities. But obviously earnings were atrocious. I did a video on that as well. So Canopy cutting 800 jobs, definitely feeling for the people of Smith Falls, right? 800 jobs, about 60% of their workforce. So, a lot of people obviously negatively impacted by that, but unfortunately, most people should have saw this coming because it's pretty much a common theme right now in the Canadian MJ space. And it's not just MJ, right? We know tons of Yahoo, I think, just cut 20% of their workforce. We're seeing tons of big tech companies cut their workforce as well. So it's called a recession, and just a drop off in economic activity, and it's probably going to get a lot worse before it gets better, unfortunately. But taking a look at Hexo in the weekly time frame, so it finally starting weekly consolidation and just following SPY in the broader market. But SPY still hasn't started weekly consolidation, so we need to keep reminding ourselves what happens when SPY finally starts weekly consolidation, right? Could see a lot more downside in some of these individual tickers, but at the moment, Hexo holding the 0.5 retracement here on this bounce. Next support at 124, then 109, then the $1 psychological, then the all-time low there at 90 cents. But just looking for a weekly higher low. And if we can form this higher low and then break the resistance there at the high of the bounce at 178, that would get us in a weekly uptrend. And then we'll zoom out to the monthly and watch for the monthly bounce to get underway, and then a higher low and then a higher high in the monthly to give us a monthly uptrend. Can't be confident that the bottom is in until we have monthly uptrends across the sector. Tilray, weekly inside bar, so it hasn't started weekly consolidation yet. CGC, starting weekly consolidation in a big way, and like I said, Hexo as well. So that increases the odds that our large caps like Tilray are likely going to do so as well. Well, actually, Tilray did it last week, so sorry about that. But that was the clue, right? That a lot of these names were likely going to start weekly consolidation soon. Once we had one start, then that is a clue that we could see that follow through with the rest of the sector. And we didn't have really any weekly established support on the way up, so it was to be expected. But just checking in on some of our names. High Tide losing the low of last week, so weekly consolidation number 2 in a row. ACB just had earnings. They posted positive adjusted EBITDA, so I think this is going to be a trend going forward. Hexo could be next. Hexo's earnings are in March, and I think mid-March we'll want to see the official confirmation on the date from Hexo as always. But that increases the odds that a lot of our other names are going to start to see positive adjusted EBITDA, Organigram, and then even into positive EPS, right? So positive cash flow from operations. So yeah, weekly consolidation across the sector, and we're just looking for daily uptrends to confirm to indicate that the weekly higher lows are set. MSOS is a monthly inside bar, so this could be a massive swing opportunity as well. So if you're looking for a swing trade, it's a monthly inside bar. Resistance is 736, support is at 609, the all-time low. If we break 736, that means that we're going to start the monthly bounce, and we have no resistance for about 99%, so about 100% of upside. You could even enter now with your stop below $6, and essentially you would risk, again, another 10% to make upwards of, you know, even 116%, right, from current levels. But if you even just did a stop buy, if we break above 736 resistance, that means we would be breaking the inside bar bullish. And you could even set a stop buy at like 741. If we break 741, then you buy. And then, like I said, you could see potentially, you know, 70 to 90% of upside from there. So it could be a nice swing trade here playing off of that monthly inside bar bull break. Probably wouldn't go short because of how beaten down we are, but leaning bullish for that one for sure. In terms of bull and bear list today, Ian, CCHW, and KGKG leading the decline today, and FIT, BAM, and GRWG leading the bull list. But yeah, we continue to struggle across the MJ space. True Leave on the monthly time frame, we hit 808. So that means we lost the low of March 2020. So we went all the way from 810 all the way up to $67 with no monthly support. Every single candle for over a year, for about a year. How many candles was it? Was it 12? Yeah, 12 months in a row without any monthly consolidation, meaning we didn't lose the low of the previous monthly candle. So what a crazy short opportunity that was when we finally lost the low of the previous month. If you would have entered there, that would have been a 85% short opportunity. Gave that whole move back, right? Like that's the, and you don't hear anybody of the MSO gang. They're off in a hole somewhere, right? They've been humbled, and that's what you get, right? From, you know, saying that, you know, MSOs are the only thing worth owning and that everything else is crap. Well, you were humbled over the last year to a year and a half, right, off of that February 2021 high, because now everybody realizes that, oh, okay, the sector does move together, even though sometimes it might not move down to the second, the minute, the week, the day, right? But overall, over a monthly time frame and a yearly time frame, the common theme right now is that names are down 70 to 80% plus. Some names down 90% from February 2021 highs, right? So it doesn't matter if they're profitable, doesn't matter if they're not profitable, doesn't matter, you know, if it's an MSO, doesn't matter if it's a Canadian producer or an American producer, doesn't matter if it's a retailer. The whole sector is down 70 to 80% plus from February 2021 highs. There's no other way to cut it. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that the whole sector moves together. So if you're wondering why your MJ name is down, it's because everything is down, right? Just like crypto in 2019, when everything was down 99 to 98% from all-time highs, the same thing's happening now. And then when we finally get the sector to reverse, you know, it's just going to be a matter of, you know, playing it patient and picking names that are going to stand the test of time, that are going to weather the storm. And I did another video saying the MJ industry is still in the first inning, because I'm in so many different groups and things like that. And, you know, people are just like, oh, I'm down this much on XYZ MJ stock, and I'm down this. I can't believe how terrible this company is, and I don't understand why it's down so much. And it's just like, it's so blatantly obvious to me that, you know, it's because the whole sector moves together, right? And right now we're in a bear market. It doesn't get any more complicated than that. That's pretty much all I have in terms of updates for today. But we do have lots of bullish indicators as well. We have a golden cross going on here on Bitcoin, so I wouldn't be surprised if we backtested 20,000, which would be a backtest of the 50-day moving average. And then, like I said, the bull cross is occurring and the golden cross is occurring, but it can take multiple months, right? Remember, it takes 4 to 6 months for market makers to get into the space. So it could take, you know, 2, 3, maybe even 4 to 6 months for this real move to come. Look what happened here. We had the last golden cross, that happened when the price was at around 8,000, 9,000, and then we went all the way up to 63, then $69,000, right? But it took many, many months and years for that to occur. But keep in mind that we just had that massive move, so this golden cross is likely not going to be as impulsive to the upside, right? It's more than likely going to be a pretty big move, but more than likely just going to result in a lower high compared to the all-time high, and then we'll likely trend back down into a bear market. But doesn't mean that's not going to provide lots of opportunities as well along the way. All right, jumping into the chat here. My man, welcome to the live stream. High tide. So yeah, we'll take a look at high tide. So just like pretty much everything else, right? Just weekly consolidation before we even look at, well, I guess I did peek at the chart there a little bit earlier. But high tide, yeah, starting weekly consolidation for the second week in a row. And I think high tide was monthly inside bars. Yeah, so unfortunately we're breaking them bearish. So we had monthly, this one here, so we had the high 223, low at 131, then an inside bar, inside bar, inside bar. So we had 3 inside bars in a row, and then we had key resistance there at 179 and support at 142. Now we lost 142, so we're starting monthly consolidation and we're bear breaking out of that monthly inside bar. Multiple inside bars. So now it's all about the low there at 130. So not a bad opportunity playing off 130, another great swing opportunity. But if we just bring up I think it's a monthly bear flag. Yeah, so from the high to the low here, it's saying we could be targeting under $1 here, this monthly bear flag. So anything under on this monthly bounce, it was just a weak bounce. We didn't even get over the 0.236 there at 243. And anything under 311, the 0.32 fib was a monthly bear flag. And if you take the measured move from high to low, right, this is all this measured move is here from high to low, move that out to the 0.32 fib, and it's saying we could be targeting about 75 cents USD because this is on the NASDAQ. We're not too far away from there right now, right? So that would mean about another 40% of downside, which again, isn't completely ludicrous because what do we know about the MJ space? It's down 80 to 90. Some names are down over 90% from February 2021 highs, right? So let's just say it's status quo and par for the course. Let's say high tide joins the rest of the sector like Trulieve, Tilray, CGC, Hexo, right? All the leaders in the space. So from February 2021 highs, what would 75 cents put us at? 94%. Okay, let's look at CGC. From February 2021 highs, it's down, oh, look at that, 96%, right? So again, if you're only looking at one MJ name, right, you're only getting half the picture. Well, not even half the picture. You're getting like 10% of the picture because you're not looking at the broader market. You're not looking at what tech stocks are doing, what crypto's doing. If everything's bullish, right, and the dollar, if you're not looking at the dollar, the US dollar, which is very inversely correlated, you're only getting, a very, very small fraction of the overall bigger picture, right? So high tide, but a monster opportunity there. You could play off 130. You could even start to scale in an order around 130, an order around 115, another one around a $1. But after that, we have no support to 65 cents. So yeah, if we lose 130, it's a dollar psychological, and then nothing until about 65 cents, right? So that monthly bear flag very much could come to fruition, right? Doesn't mean we have to get exactly there either. Or we could exceed that target, right? We could go down and test all the way down to 65 cent support. It's entirely possible. We know that SPY hasn't even started weekly consolidation yet. So what happened? And it's due, right? SPY hasn't started weekly consolidation. We haven't consolidated since all the way down to 374. So we're now 8 weeks in a row, 2 months without any weekly pullback. So we know we're due. It's just a matter of time. The same thing happened with Bitcoin finally starting its weekly consolidation. So what happens if SPY pulls back from current levels, starts weekly consolidation? That's at about a 2% drop. And then what if we pull back 5, 6%? What do I always say is if SPY's down 1%, each individual stock or individual company is down maybe 2 or 3 times as much. So SPY drops 5%, that means some individual names could drop 15 to 20%. And like I said, high tide not set up well if the broader market finally sees weekly consolidation. So again, if you're only looking at one MJ stock, not the whole MJ sector, you're getting a very small representation of what's going on. If you're not looking at SPY, you're not looking at broader market, the dollar, you're really at a disadvantage, right? But it all depends on your investment style, right? If you're just buying and holding and you're buying every new lows, well, you don't really need to focus on things too much, right? But if you're looking at swing trading, or if you're getting emotional and you don't understand, why something's down, then maybe you want to look at the broader market, because then it just makes so much sense, right? But yeah, in terms of the weekly time frame, not looking good whatsoever. Closed last week under the 10-week moving average there at 151. Bear across the stochastic and the MACD, dangerously close to seeing a bear across as well. In terms of the weekly moving averages, we're still unable to get above that 50 weekly there, but if we can get over 213, we have a lot of runway until about $3.73, then $4.34. But we are seeing on the daily time frame, we are seeing a loss of all the moving averages here as well. So it's not looking good, but we are gearing up for a potential golden cross with the 50 below the 200. And if those cross, the shorter term below, when they're below the longer term, and then when it's in this case the daily time frame and the 50 and the 200 moving averages, that's called a golden cross. Look what happened when the price was at around $2. That's when the last golden cross happened. Then it ran all the way up to about $13. Then we had the death cross when the price was at around $7, and it dropped all the way to $1.30. So now we're having an even more bullish pattern here with this same repeat here of the 50 and the 200 and the golden cross. but keep in mind we've been beaten down a lot more this cycle as well. So we're just waiting for the bear market to conclude, and then we'll look for a new potential multi-year bull market. But on the day today, closed at the low of the day, not looking good whatsoever. Next daily support is 130, which is our low there, 52-week low. Wouldn't be surprised if we hit that tomorrow. But could be a nice swing opportunity here as well, right? Playing off that 130 support. If we lose 130, you could try to get it around $1. Play off $1 support. There's a couple of swing trade opportunities for you, or you can start to scale in. Realistically, if you're wondering about this for the long term, I don't think it could go wrong. Starting to accumulate at these prices. Again, not telling you to buy, sell, or hold. This isn't financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, as always. But just giving you some trade ideas. Weed is dead. Long live the weed. Yeah. Well, the great thing about weed is it's a weed and it's pretty hard to kill. It just keeps coming back. So, perseverance. We get knocked down, we keep getting back up. Temporary, you bet. The Senate is set to vote on veteran MJ use this week. Yep. In the research bill, and there's been a lot of chatter that we could see MJ rescheduled into Schedule 3. And if that were to happen, holy, some fireworks in the space. USA needs a president that was born after World War II. Well, we at the end of the day, try not to get political, but at the end of the day, the president is just a president, it's just a face. And Congress can get things done, right? It's not just the president that can get things done via executive order. Congress isn't doing their job either, right? Congress isn't doing anything. We've got, Mitch McConnell in there who's over 80. I think he's 80, and he could retire anytime. So if we can get him out of there, get those, people who just are a different generation, right? The baby boomers, get them out of there. And, maybe it's 2 years, maybe it's 3 years, maybe it's 5 years, who knows? Maybe it's even 10 years or plus. But at the end of the day, Germany's set to legalize soon. New York's coming online in a big way. And there's just so many catalysts. And I'd rather be 2, 3, 5 years early than one day too late, right? Do we even have a president? Exactly, right? It's like, I could care less realistically who is the Prime Minister of Canada, the President of the US, because at the end of the day, they're just a face. And I've seen a video where Biden was literally reading off like a script, a bullet point script. So people are just giving it to him, and he's just reading it, right? He's just a face. And I don't even think we live in a democracy anymore, but that's either here nor there. Raw technical analysis for Hexo, please. I'm curious about the levels. Yep, so I brought that up. Hopefully I went over that for you. In terms of the daily time frame, we did lose the daily uptrend. So we had the high, low, double top, lower low, downtrend confirmed, EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, meaning that we lost the daily uptrend. What happens when you lose a trend on a shorter term time frame? It means zoom out to the next level time frame and then expect consolidation. So once we lost the daily uptrend, that means zoom out to the weekly, the next higher level time frame, and expect consolidation. What does consolidation mean? It means we're losing the low of the previous weekly candle. So what happened here? We lost the low of the previous candle because we lost the daily uptrend. So weekly consolidation underway, but we're just looking for a weekly higher low. The higher low will be indicated by a daily uptrend confirming, getting back into an uptrend for the bulls. But at the moment, like I said, support is 124, 109, then 100 psychological, then the all-time low there at 90 cents. So we're just watching for this. It is a potential weekly trend change attempt. But EMA 12, look at that EMA 12. Look at that the yellow line on the weekly time frame. Can't close above it. We didn't close above it once ever since the highs of $154 factoring in post-split, right? Which was like $11 or something like that before. So from there, we had the monthly EMA 12, weekly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. We confirmed monthly and weekly downtrends. And then look, if you just went short at every single touch of that yellow line, you'd have won big time, right? Short, 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 any of those, right? And just unable to close any weekly candle. So if we close a weekly candle above EMA 12, that's going to be the first time since June of 2021. So we're now going on 616 days below that EMA. So if we can close a weekly candle, I preferably want 2 to get confirmation. Generally, you don't just want 1, you want 2 or 3. There's magic in 3s. So if we can get at least 2, preferably 3, weekly candle closes over EMA 12 on the weekly, that's going to be huge. That level is 163 right now. But again, that changes on a daily and a weekly basis because it's a moving average, right? Exponential in this case. So those are levels to be watching. and we could be gearing up for a golden cross with the 50 below the 200 here. It's quite a ways away before it sees that bull cross, but it could occur over the next several weeks or a couple months, in my opinion. And like I said, we could see positive adjusted EBITDA. We know Aurora just posted that. So I think Hexo could be one of the next ones. So earnings are tentative for middle of March. So I think that we could realistically see it as early as this quarter in March, or the quarter after that, positive adjusted EBITDA and profitability. And then we see potential for EPS positive over the next 2 to 3 quarters, cash flow positive. Hopefully that helps. What do you think of Neon Mine? Penny stock for sure. Neon Mine. I never heard of that one. I can take a look at it though. Neon Mine on the CSE. Yeah, so I generally try to, I assume it's a MJ stock, or is it a psilocybin? Yeah, like generally I try to stay away from penny stocks, but it's not that bad. It's 15 cents is the low there, and we're currently sitting at 30 cents, so we've already jumped 100% there off the lows. But monthly downtrend, no weekly resistance all the way up to about 330, so this could be a nice, YOLO play. Not terrible amount of volume. You've got 23,000 shares traded, around 20,000 shares traded in a week, times an average price of, we'll say 20 cents. Yeah, so only about $4,000 traded in a week. So yeah, it's very low volume. I probably wouldn't throw more than, depending on your net worth. But if you're just like a regular average investor, I probably wouldn't throw more than like $1,000 at this thing. But if we do go up to monthly resistance, that's about a 10x move. So $1,000 into about 10 grand. Most you can lose is 1,000. That's not a bad risk to reward, right? And then if you're playing off 15 cents, that would have been 20x, right? So 1,000 into $20,000. But yeah, we have no weekly resistance nearby until the EMAs. So it could be a nice one. We're finally starting to start the weekly bounce. So 30 cents is going to be a key resistance level. You get over 30 cents, then and we could be off to the races. Could easily see, 100 to 500% just to the EMAs, and then, like I said, about a 10x up to our price action resistance. But yeah, just be careful with. There's no shortage of good deals out there right now. Like Tesla was just at $100 and seeing a 110% move. There's when it comes to penny stocks. I'd just be cautious with these because there's so many good deals out there right now based on how beaten down the market is. Like MJ, tons of great opportunities there. Tons of great opportunities in tech stocks, right? Palantir had a strong earnings today after market. Yeah, I did see that they were reporting. Not really a name that I follow closely, though, to be completely honest with you. Up 16%, almost 17% after market. So yeah, it was a daily inside bar, broke bearish, but then bullish. And we do have resistance there at 921. And we did have a high, low, lower high, and lower low. So daily downtrend confirms that. Again, what does that mean? Zoom out to the weekly and watch for weekly consolidation. We lost it by 1 penny last week, and it was multiple inside bars on the weekly time frame. But now we're seeing a bull break. Ended up being a bear trap. Now we're going into a bull break and a bull move, looking at that 921 resistance. Still no weekly uptrend confirmed yet, though. On the monthly time frame, so you got a low there at 584, so nice move there off the low, right? We're almost 100% now. Sorry, no, it's like $6, so it's like 60%, 53% off the lows. So again, like I said, no shortage of opportunities out there. But yeah, we had the high, low, lower high, and lower low. Once we lost the low there at 1706, we confirmed the monthly downtrend. If you just went short there on the monthly downtrend confirming, that would have been a short of about 65% opportunity, right? Yeah, Monday, February 13th. So yeah, they beat on EPS by 49%, surprise. And then their earnings came in at $508 million versus $502, so another beat there. looking really good on the weekly time frame here as well. Let's see if we get a golden cross. Oh, so we're back below. We're above the 200-day moving average again, and we're very close to seeing the 100 and the 50 cross. And then if the 200 and the 50 cross, that's a golden cross. So we could see this could be a nice swing opportunity as well. So like I said, on the monthly chart, we had monthly lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So we're breaking that resistance there at 906. At 921, so we're no longer in a monthly downtrend. Now we need a monthly high, which we're forming now. Wherever we top out, the bigger the bounce, the better, because then bulls can form as enough, quite a bit of room for a higher low to form, right? So we still need that high, higher low, and then higher high. And maybe you want to wait for a monthly higher low to add, right? But hopefully that helps. How much lower do you think Hexo will pull back, looking to average down again? Yeah, so I think I've answered that. So right now, it's all about, and SPY hasn't even started weekly consolidation yet. So if SPY loses the low of the previous weekly candle, that's going to mean a lot more headwinds for MJ. So the levels to be watching are 124, 109, then $1 psychological, and then the all-time low there at 90 cents. So if we do lose 133, which is a double bottom right now on this weekly candle compared to last week, if we lose 133, I would expect the drop to around 125. And then if we lose 125, I would expect the drop to around 109 to $1. So those could be some levels to start staggering some buy orders at, if you feel so inclined. Thank you for the Hexo analysis. You're welcome. Hello, your thoughts on CPI tomorrow, please, and thank you. So yeah, it's hard to say. I do think that inflation's coming down. I'm definitely no macroeconomic expert. So when it comes to technical analysis, I specialize mostly in MJ and in crypto and technical analysis and charting and things like that. Also just like looking at the products and the fundamentals of MJ mostly. So when it comes to macroeconomically, I'm definitely not an expert when it comes to inflation and CPI. But I do think that just based on what I've been seeing, that we could see inflation continue to come down. And then, like I said, I think that we could start to see into March interest rate decision with the Fed. I do think that we could see them potentially pause it. And then we could see markets completely go parabolic into the spring. And then I think it's going to be a type of sell in May and go away type of market coming into the summertime. And then I think that into the end of the year, we're probably going to see a massive bloodbath, and then potentially into 24. But in terms of CPI, I don't really have any thing to say on that. I don't really know, to be honest. I do think that it could come in favorable because, like I said, we've been trending in that right direction. Charts are saying that we are due for some weekly consolidation though on the S&P 500, so that could be the straw that kind of breaks the camel's back. And finally start a weekly consolidation, which we know is inevitable, right? It's likely going to happen in the next couple of weeks on the S&P 500. So, yeah, if I were to to bet my money on it, I would say that it might be a bearish reaction just because of how much we're due for weekly consolidation. But yeah, CPI will be very, very important, especially for the broader market. The more MJ stocks get beaten down, the more bullish I become. Yep, and the more they get beaten down, the better the opportunity that we have for entries, right? And like I said, no one really wants to buy when things are going lower, but at the end of the day, we all know that MJ is medicine of the future. It's going to be a highly disruptive industry for big pharma. It's going to be highly disruptive to tobacco and alcohol, but mostly big pharma, in my opinion, because of the fact that it's used on such a large scale for medicinal purposes. And not only that, it has the recreational component to it as well, which is obviously going to threaten tobacco and alcohol, right, which are poison and terrible for you. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when we finally bottom out in a lot of our MJ names. But at HMMJ, I mean, one would think we're hitting monthly oversold, so one would think that eventually this thing's going to get back to monthly overbought, right? And you know, if you know nothing about charting or technical analysis, when we're monthly overbought, if you sold here, right, when price was at 105, then we dropped all the way down to 11, right? So sell whenever we're here, and then buy when we're close to oversold, right? So if you haven't plopped RSI into your chart yet, that can very much help you, right? But just keep in mind that when we're here, the media wants you to be permeable. They want you to, oh, everything's going to the moon, you know, it's at 1,000, it's at 100, but it's going to 1,000, right? That's the articles, right? Remember whenever Hexo was at like $11 in February 2021, and they were saying, that was before the split, but they were saying that it could go to like $100 a share or $400 a share. It was like, I think it was the Motley Fool saying it was probably going to be the first MJ name, like one of the first MJ names to get to $100 from where we currently were at those prices. And then it even made it even went in that article to talk about how it was probably going to hit $400 someday. But again, they try to get you as bullish as possible when the price is high, and then now down here they try to get you as bearish as possible and make it look like everything's never going to turn around. We're just going to keep going in that direction forever. Everything's going to zero. But again, you need to realize that when we're down here and we're monthly oversold, or we're oversold on a larger level time frame, the media is trying to scare you and to make you believe that everything's just going to keep going down forever and go to zero. But then when we're up here, they want you to believe that everything's just going to keep going up forever, and you know, we're just going to keep going to the moon, right? So just being aware of that. But yeah, we'll see what tomorrow has in store for the macroeconomic data. Earnings this week, not expecting much. Obviously, few individual earnings will affect those individual stocks, like Airbnb earnings, right? Could affect Airbnb stock, but I'm not expecting any of these names to really move the market this week. You know, we got Suncor, Coca-Cola, Airbnb tomorrow, Shopify, Roku. Shopify probably be a big one, but I don't really consider this enough to move the market. And then yeah, really nothing notable after that. So not really expecting much from earnings, but yeah, CPI data will be very important. And like I said, just based on the weekly chart, wouldn't be surprised if we started weekly consolidation this week or next week. I came across one of your videos from 2 years ago about SNDL and CGC possible merger. Yeah, that was some speculation. That was just a rumor that was going around, but there was no confirmation of that. You never know. Could happen. I mean, CGC just did get out of the retail space. So whether or not they'd want to merge with a company that's focusing a lot on retail, not only MJ retail, but they're big into alcohol retail now as well, right? They own like the liquor depots and the Ace Liquors here in Alberta. But yeah, Sundial just closed Superette as well, which is another MJ retailer. So they're big into the retail game. Hard to say if they would ever merge, but there's definitely some consolidation needed. And one thing I wanted to mention, I was looking at the Constellation chart. This is one of the names that has held up really, really well. Like, look at this thing. It's still at all-time highs. Constellation Brands, so the majority owner of Canopy, and they have majority stake in Canopy, and they make Corona beer and many other brands of alcohol. But we're finally just losing the monthly uptrend, and we could see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on our way to monthly oversold territory. But this is one of the names that has really held up very, very well. While a lot of our big tech names are down 70-80%, like Tesla included, Constellation's only down 20% from the all-time high, and just barely losing the monthly uptrend, and potentially set to confirm a monthly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. So if we do lose 207.40, that could be a nice short opportunity. I could easily see about a 27%, 25% short opportunity. And then if we lose that support, nothing down there for about 50 cents, 50%, sorry. And that would put us at around the March 2020 lows there, C19 lows. So this could be a nice short opportunity, but definitely holding up a lot better than a lot of our names. But yeah, like I said, that was just a rumor that was floating around. And then Canopy merged with Supreme. And then SNDL bought Valens. They also bought Superette. So anything can happen. Never say never, but we'll wait and see. I don't think it's going to happen, personally. but can't rule it out, that's for sure. All right, going to start wrapping it up. So 15-minute uptrends still intact and breaking to higher highs here on crypto at the moment. And like I said, Bitcoin all about the low there at 21,193. If we can hold that 0.32 fib and then break resistance at 24,262, then we're targeting 33,000 on that weekly bull flag confirmation and continuation. SPY after hours down slightly, just 0.01%, so basically flat. And we did close pretty much near the high of the day today. But again, just the fact that we're so much due for weekly consolidation, I'd be leaning bearish into any economic data. Just because, you know, the odds are in our favor that, you know, we've now gone 2 months without any weekly pullback. Now's the time where you probably want to be short versus long, right? Thanks, Rod, for the updates. Have a great night, you bet. Thanks, everybody, for joining the stream. Gonna start wrapping it up there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, make sure to check out some of the videos I posted if you're interested in real estate, if you're interested in Airbnb or short-term rentals, VRBO, that type of stuff. You can check out my real estate portfolio game plan. I went over what I've done in the last decade or so, and then what I'm looking to do for the next decade or so ahead. And then, yeah, we'll see everybody for another video tomorrow. I'll definitely be getting some videos out tomorrow as well. And like I said, lots of names like Aurora, positive adjusted EBITDA. So this is a good sign for our LPs. As everyone mentioned in the MJ space, lots of CEOs saying that the days of unprofitable LPs are numbered. And just keep in mind that when you're comparing LPs to MSOs, you're not really comparing apples to apples, right? You're comparing apples to oranges. And LPs are building on a global scale, right? So they have nationwide distribution across Canada. Then they're working on, like, take Tilray, for example, right? It's working on tons of markets, right? Even internationally in Germany, they're number one in Germany. They've got all of Canada distribution. And then they've got businesses in the US as well, right? So once federally permissible and once reform starts to happen in the US, Tilray and a lot of other LPs they already have the infrastructure. They already have you know, the capacity to service that, not only the US, but abroad in Germany and things like that as well, into Europe, right? So the American names, right, the MSOs, like AYR just pulled out of Arizona, so selling those assets, right? They're getting into that market. So a lot of the MSOs are still expanding, like take Trulieve, for example. They're still building out Florida, right? And what happens when they go to expand across the rest of the US and then into Canada or other international markets like Germany and beyond? That's going to be huge capex, right? Capital expenditures. It's going to dip into their cash reserves more than likely. And as we know, the states are very, very hard to get new licenses. So either you have to build a brand new facility, which is going to take a ton of cash, right, and capex, or you're going to acquire another MSO that's already in that jurisdiction, in that market. And that's going to either really hurt your cash reserves, or it could be a mix of cash and stock, right? So it could be a merger and acquisition that's all cash, which is going to hurt their bottom line and their cash reserves, right? And then they could offer all stock, so that would be a lot of dilution, or they could do half and half, some cash, some stock, at which point would still be dilution, right? So I think a lot of the MSOs are going to have some of the, you know, a lot of the same problems that we've been seeing with Canadian LPs. So as I've been saying, I own both. I own producers in the US, I own producers in Canada, and I own High Tide, you know, the retailers. I own retailers in the US, I own retailers here in Canada. And like I said, ETFs, there's going to be winners and losers both sides of the border, and there's going to be enough market share for them all to capitalize, right? So just about finding 3 or 4 that are going to be able to weather the storm and, you know, be here in 5 to 10 years. Thanks, Rod. Let's look at TGOD next time. Great products from TGOD, Bazam. Yeah, I don't like that new name. The name change though. Really don't like that. Cruzzy, all 3 have great flour. Yep. So yeah, I have heard some pretty good things about it. I haven't tried the highly Dutch yet, but that's something that I've been meaning to try. We can just take a quick look at it though. So it's a monthly inside bar, actually 2 in a row. So this could be a nice swing trade off of 43 cents. So if we break 43 cents, we start the monthly bounce, and we have no resistance until about 200% of upside. So this could be a monster swing opportunity with no resistance, after 43 all the way up to $1.25. But it just did a reverse split of 1 for 10. But that's pretty much the common theme in the space, right? Love just did a 1 for 10 split today. Hexo did a 1 for 14. Yeah, there's no shortage of names that have done reverse splits. SNDL just did a reverse split as well. 1 for 10. And again, you know, the MSOs haven't had that problem because they're not listed on US major exchanges yet, right? So again, it's just like LPs they're listed on NASDAQ and the NYSE, right? On US major exchanges. And, you know, some names listed on the Venture, TSX Venture, trying to get to the TSX. So a reverse split could help them get to the TSX, right? But again, another thing that the US names haven't really had to deal with is that reverse split factor because of the fact that they're not listed on US major exchanges. But once they do, again, they're probably going to run into some of the same problems as well, especially if we don't see full-blown legalization, right? If we get safe banking or if we get rescheduling, whatever we need to get them uplisted, you know, if full-blown legalization at the federal level isn't there yet, then they're at risk of reverse splits as well, right? Because so long as the industry just, you know, is being held back and hindered by regulatory uncertainty and lack of reform, then, you know, there's no reason why the U.S. names likely aren't going to see some of the same problems, right? But yeah, T-God. TO. It's looking pretty good here on the weekly time frame. I'd like to see us close the week over 37 cents. And then we have no weekly resistance nearby really until $1.25 either. So this thing could be a nice swing opportunity, like I said, off that monthly inside bull break, monthly inside bar. So if you're looking for a swing opportunity, you could enter on a break of 43 cents. And then, like I said, no resistance all the way up to about $1.25. How are we doing in terms of the bull cross of the 50 and the 200? So we did get pretty close to a golden cross there, but now we really capitulated, and we're pretty far away from seeing those 50 and 200-day moving averages cross. So it could be multiple months before we see this have a bull cross of those and a golden cross of those moving averages. But yeah, something to keep in mind as well is that there's no shortage of good flour out there anymore, and you know, just having good flour isn't really enough to really make a name for yourself. You know, the organic component as well, price point. You know, that's obviously an issue with organic because it's harder to produce because it's organic, right? That fact alone. Then you need to have certifications for that. And yeah, the organic is great, you know, but is that going to be enough? And like I said, price point's an issue too. You know, you got Canara Biotech, who makes really good flour. I would argue some of the best in Canada. But then you have Ogen here in Decibel as well in Alberta. They make really good craft. You know, you got Broken Coast from Tilray and Afria. You've now got the new TNT strains with Hexo. They're getting into craft, 30 to 36% THC in the new animal runts. So you know, if your only leg to stand on is good flour, well, like I said, anybody can grow good flour. Like I've grown stuff at home here that was like 35% THC. It was just like the most craziest looking MJ you could ever anticipate, right? Didn't get there overnight, but then, you know, I wasn't doing it at scale either, building, you know, hundreds of thousands of plants and hundreds of thousands of square footage, right? But anybody can grow good flour. It's about making it into something special, right? Look at Coca-Cola, right? It's just sugar and water essentially, but it's about making it into something special, making that commodity into something that people want and making it a part of their everyday routine and their everyday life and making it something they can't live without, right? So it's not just about good flour. I mean, obviously that's going to be a great you know, part of your business. If you can have good flour, obviously it's better than bad flour, but that alone, you know, you really need to be innovative. You really need to be, you know, to make it into something special, right? Would you look at OGI real quick before you go, please? Yep, you can take a quick look at that. So on the US side, back below the 10-week moving average, and we're seeing a bear cross of the stochastic and the MACD, so that's not looking too hot whatsoever. Nothing really nearby in the weekly moving averages in terms of the daily. We're pretty close there. The 50 sitting at 90 cents and the 200 at 101, so we're only 11 cents away from seeing those cross bullish, which would be a golden cross. And like I said, a pretty big move would likely come after that because we're 52-week lows. We're below the lows there at the lows of September 2020 before we went from $1 all the way up to like $6. We're even lower than that. So the last time the Golden Cross happened was back here in January 2021. Price went from $1.70 all the way up to $6.50 almost. And then we had the death cross, the 50 cross through the 200. Price was at around $2.45 and then went all the way down to about 70 cents, right? So now we're seeing another bull cross and golden cross potentially, which would be even more upside in my opinion because of how beaten down we are. Two monthly inside bars, so another great swing opportunity. Again, I wouldn't really be so inclined to go short I wouldn't be so inclined to go short because of how beaten down we are. And key resistance is going to be 103 and then key support 74 cents. If we lose 74 cents, we continue monthly consolidation. We did break the monthly lower high, lower low pattern though, so we're no longer in a monthly downtrend, but we did drop to a monthly lower low. So now we just need to confirm a monthly uptrend with a high, higher low, and higher high, which would be multiple months from seeing that happen, at least 2 to 3 months away, maybe even 4. But MJ could be one of those names that outperforms the broader market as well, right? Tech stocks and the broader market could enter a multi-year bear market, and I think MJ could be one of those sectors that kind of outperforms and potentially enters its own bull market all on its own. But this could be a nice swing opportunity there, playing off a break of 103. After that, nothing until 127. We had a double top there actually at 127. So 127 is going to be key to break, and then we have nothing until about $1.87. And this is on the NASDAQ, so USD, of course. But weekly time frame, weekly consolidation underway now for the second week, and now we're into a weekly inside bar. So monthly inside bar, weekly inside bar. If we lose 82 cents, then we continue looking for a higher low compared to 70 cents, the 52-week low. But like I said, lots of names looking for that weekly higher low and higher high. So if we hold 70 cents from here and then break 103, we'll be in a weekly uptrend. But still lots of work to do. And right now, based on the size of this pullback in the weekly, it's more than likely favoring a type of equilibrium where we tighten up and then get the bull break or the bear break, right? Break down. But yeah, we just form an equilibrium, just tightening range, and that is evident by the inside bars. So if you're a monthly inside bar, usually you look into the next time frame down, and you would expect an equilibrium, right? Which is just a low, high, higher low. Actually, it'll look better on Tilray. Tilray had one on the daily time frame. So again, if it's an equilibrium on the daily time frame, what's that mean? Zoom out to the weekly and expect a weekly inside bar. And then look at here. It was 2 weekly inside bars in a row, right? So again, knowing charting, if you see 2 weekly inside bars, that's like, okay, well, that means we must be in a tightening range and equilibrium on the daily time frame. Sure enough, zoom into the daily. That's exactly what we had. High, low, lower high, higher low, bull break, back into the equilibrium, another bull break, now back into the bear break. So it's just been absolute choppy. But high, low, lower high, higher low. And then if you just entered on that bull break there of 324, that broke out of the equilibrium bullish. And then if you went, like I said, if you went bullish there, that could be a nice day trade or swing trade. That was about 10% of upside, right? So just all about support and resistance. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. You're welcome. Thanks for your comment. Thanks for everybody's contributions in the chat. And thanks for joining us today. A little over an hour, so not so bad. But going to end it there. Hope you have a fantastic evening. If you could smash a like on your way out, I would appreciate it, as always. And like I said, we'll be doing some videos tomorrow as well, and we'll keep an eye out for macroeconomic data. But again, because we haven't consolidated in 2 months on the S&P 500, I am leaning bearish because, like I said, we know that weekly consolidation is inevitable. It's likely going to be in the next week or two, in my opinion. Awesome. Thanks for the Hexo and MJ Sector updates, Rod. You bet. Thanks again, everyone, for joining it, and have a great night. We'll see everybody tomorrow, likely after market close for a market update. And then I'll probably get a couple other videos out as well. So we'll see how it all goes. All right. Have a great night. Take care. See you on the next video.